Alright, I'm doing my back brakes. Pull the cap off. Alright, I'm doing my back brakes, so make sure you pull that cap loose. Just crack it. And then I take these two bolts out. On this side it's 12 millimeter, on the other side it was 9/16, I think. Weird, I think they were different. Anyway, I put this clamp on here and then I crank it to release the caliper.
You are one lucky man, Paul, to get that off, huh?
And I put it right on the back of that bracket.
But I was so worried
Front of
that
the
you'd
caliper.
never get it off.
And I can feel it compressing the dual piston. And by doing that, it'll
I gotta check my fluids
loosen
before I
this
go,
up
but I haven't checked
to where it'll come off.
10
So I
days.
need two hands to do that. So I'll pull that off. That's an easier way to get that off. Okay, now to get this bracket off here. Actually, I gotta pull my brakes out real quick. Alright, there's my brakes. They're a little bit cracked. This rotor isn't too bad. The driver's side was grooved. So anyway, I need to take this bracket off here to get the rotor off. So I'm going to do that with these 2/18s and a breaker bar. There's one here and one right there. Now when I pull this off, I always mark on the top up here, top, and then on the bottom I write passenger, just so I remember which one it goes on to and which wire is the top, just so I remember. Next, to get these rotors off, back here, there's that little thing with the slot there. Right there, that's a little rubber grommet. Pull that out and you got to turn that little star in there to loosen the rotors, or the brake pads on the brake rotor, because this has the rotor here, or the drum, the brake drum pads. This has a drum brake for your emergency brake, so you want to loosen that up and then just bang the hell out of this to get it off. The other one took a while. Okay, so to release that star in the back, put your screwdriver in and grab it from there and pry up. Same on that other side, put it in the bottom and pry up, and rotate the star up on both sides, releases it. Okay, to get this off, take your sledge on your rotor and smack it, bam, bam. Turn it, smack it, and as you're doing it, grab your rotor back here and just yank on it. Keep turning it, smacking it, yank on it. Before you do that, spray a little WD on these studs and around here, and just beat the hell out of it. Be careful not to hit your rotor, the machine surface, if you're reusing it. So, but it will come off. At least it did on mine. It was a bear, but make sure you turn these down though. If they're expanded out at all and just barely rubbing, you'll have a hell of a time trying to get it off. And it ain't that hard to just pull that grommet out of the back here. It's right here. Just pop that out. It's a little rubber grommet, and just stick the wrench in there like I showed you, or the screwdriver. Stick it in there and pry up. Grab that notch, pry up, and it'll release these if they're touching at all. And like I said, rotate it, smack it. Just rotate it and smack it right here. Rotate, smack, 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 and keep pulling. Underneath there, there's that rotor, or the drum brake, I guess you want to call it. So you got a rotor with the drum brake for the emergency brake. And I'm going to go have this turned. This one, you can see them grooves. Hopefully I can turn it. If not, I'll have to buy a new one. So, okay. Okay, I like to put a little bit of grease here on that surface when I go to put the rotor on. So next time when I do it, it'll come off. So I'm going to put the rotor on, and I'm going to adjust my emergency brake so that will work. Okay, so I took this and this with my screwdriver. If you roll it up, so let's see, roll it up, looking toward the rear of the truck. If you roll it up, that would be going counterclockwise, and that would loosen. So if you roll it the other way, roll it down going clockwise, it tightens. So same on the other side, going the same way clockwise. Let's see. No, I need to go up to loosen and down to tighten. So on the other side, counterclockwise, going down, is tightening. So it's the opposite for the drivers. So passenger clockwise tighten, drivers counterclockwise tighten. Anyway, so I tighten this, the drums in here, drum brakes, to where it's tight and I can't turn it. I can't pull this off, so it's tight. And then I loosen it about 4 turns, and that makes it so I can turn it and I can move the rotor a little bit. It's just for your emergency brake, so usually on a regular drum brake I tighten it to where it tightens, and then I just barely loosen it, and when I turn it I can hear them kind of, I can barely hear them kind of going shh, shh. This is a little harder because you got this big Superduty and you can't really hear it like that, but tightened it, few turns loosen once it's tight, and I called it good. So now I'm putting my bracket back on here. Got an 18 millimeter. Tighten that, one there, and then there's one right there on the bottom. And then I'll compress my calipers, and I'll show you that next. Okay, I got my tool in here. It's this piece with this adjustment and an old brake pad. It's a dual piston, so I do this side first and then come over here and do this side. You can put a C-clamp in here, works just as good, and compress it. I like this tool. If it's hard to push them, you gotta use a C-clamp. Some of these on Hondas, these calipers, you gotta turn in, so check your manual for that. So before I turn this in, I make sure my cap on my reservoir up there is loosened, so it relieves the pressure so I can push this in. Okay, I got that pressed in all the way. Both pistons, I went from side to side to do this dual piston. Piece of cake. Okay, so this boot right here, I took my screwdriver and put it in that slot, pushed it in, just worked it in. So don't forget to put your adjustment boot back in. I have my calipers on now. Bolt here, a bolt down there. These are 9/16 on this side, passenger side. Like I said, the other side was no, I'm sorry. This side's 12 millimeter. Passenger side 12 millimeter, and the driver side is 9/16. I like to use a brass washer on these bolts here, so that they don't lock up when I go to change my brakes in the future. As far as putting lube underneath these, I rethought that decision, and there's drum brakes under here, and lube there when you go to slide it in. I don't know if it would seep up into there and destroy your brake, so I used some brake cleaner and took all that off. I seen a guy do that on YouTube, but I don't know, I don't like that idea. I guess if it were to seep up in there and destroy them drum brakes, so I'm gonna opt to not do that. Cleaned them off. So next I'll just spray a little bit of cleaner here. Just make sure this is clean, and put my wheel back on. So that's how you do your rear brakes on the 01 F250 Superduty. I have the V10.